A single pack of sausages, 6 fat links for under £2 at Aldi or Lidl, might not look like the foundation of a whole week's dinners. But for anyone cooking just for themselves, it may be the most useful thing in the fridge. Stretched with a little know-how, that one pack can carry you from Monday right through to Sunday, every night. A proper hot meal that costs mere pennies and warms you through. No waste, no fuss, no daily trudge to the shops. These are 25 cheap sausage dinners made for seniors living on their own, the sort that fed Britain through leaner years and still earn their place today. Let us count them down, starting at number 25. Number 25. Sausage and beans on toast is the quiet hero of the cooking for 1 week. The supper you can have on the table in 10 minutes when you cannot face anything grander. Slice a single sausage into coins, brown them in a dry pan while the kettle boils, then tip in half a tin of baked beans and let it bubble until thick and glossy. Spoon it over a slice of buttered toast, a good doorstep of it, and you have a meal that costs perhaps 40 pence and fills you properly. The trick is the half tin. The other half keeps a day or two in the fridge for tomorrow, and 1 sausage of your 6 is all it asks. It is humble, yes, but on a cold evening with the telly on, few things comfort quite like it. Number 24. The sausage sandwich asks almost nothing of you and gives back a great deal. Fry 2 sausages slowly until the skins are dark and blistered, slice them lengthways so they lie flat, and press them between 2 thick slices of soft white bread with a smear of butter and whatever sauce you favor, brown or red. For one person, this is a dinner that doubles as a treat. The clever part is doing it on a day you have the grill on anyway, cooking an extra sausage or 2 so tomorrow's butty is already half made. A loaf bought for under £1 stretches a fortnight. The sausages cost coppers each, and the whole thing eats like something from a proper cafe. Eaten warm at the kitchen table with a strong cup of tea, it is the simplest reward at the end of a long day. Number 23. Sausage and egg is breakfast pressed into service as supper, and it is all the better for it. Halve a sausage lengthways, lay it cut side down in the pan so it crisps flat, then crack an egg in beside it, and let the white set while the yolk stays soft. A slice of fried bread cooked in the same pan soaks up every drop of fat and flavor, so nothing is wasted. It is a meal built from 1 sausage, 1 egg, and a slice of bread, costing well under 50 pence, yet it sits like a proper plate of food. For anyone living alone, there is real comfort in a dinner that needs only 1 pan and 1 plate to wash afterwards. Add a grilled tomato or a spoon of beans if the cupboard allows, and you have a little fry-up for 1. Number 22. A sausage omelette turns a single link and a couple of eggs into a golden, satisfying supper. Brown the sliced sausage first, pour in 2 beaten eggs, and let it set slowly over a low flame until the bottom is firm and the top barely wobbles. Fold it over or leave it flat like a frittata and finish it under the grill. Whatever odds and ends are lurking in the fridge, a few mushrooms, a handful of peas, the last of an onion, all find a home here. It is the meal that clears the shelves before shopping day, costing little more than the eggs themselves. Cut cold, a wedge makes tomorrow's lunch with no extra effort. For 1 sausage out of your pack, you get a dinner that feels generous, nourishing, and faintly continental, eaten with a slice of bread and butter. Number 21. Sausage and chips needs no introduction, but the oven version is the friend of anyone watching the pennies and the washing up. Lay 2 sausages on a tray beside a handful of chipped potatoes tossed in a little oil, season well, and let the oven do everything while you sit down. By the time the chips are golden and the sausages bronzed, the kitchen smells like the best chippy in town, and you have spent a fraction of the price. A single large potato, cut into chips, costs barely more than a few pence, and 2 sausages from your pack make it a proper plate. A splash of vinegar, a shake of salt, perhaps a spoon of mushy peas, and Friday night arrives at the kitchen table. There is something deeply cheering about a chippy tea you made yourself, all for the cost of next to nothing. Number 20. Sausage broth is where one link learns to feed you for 2 days. Brown a sliced sausage, then build a pot around it with an onion, a carrot, a stick of celery if you have one, a handful of barley or red lentils, and a pint of water with a stock cube crumbled in. Let it murmur away on the hob for half an hour until the barley swells and the broth turns thick and golden. The single sausage flavors the whole pot, its richness spreading through every spoonful, and the barley does the work of filling you. A bowl tonight, a bowl tomorrow, and the cost barely registers. For someone on their own, a pot of soup ticking over on the stove is a reassuring thing. A meal already made for when hunger strikes and you cannot be bothered to start again from scratch. Number 19. Sausage and lentil stew is thrift turned into something hearty enough for the coldest night. 2 sausages, sliced and browned, go in with a chopped onion, a tin of chopped tomatoes, a mug of red lentils, and enough water to cover. Simmer it gently, and the lentils break down into a thick, savory stew that clings to the spoon, while the sausages give it a depth that tastes far more expensive than it is. A bag of red lentils costs little and lasts for months, turning 2 sausages into 3 or 4 generous bowls. Spoon it over rice, or simply mop it up with bread. What does not get eaten tonight freezes beautifully in a tub, ready for an evening when cooking feels like too much. This is the sort of dinner that quietly proves a single pack of sausages can stretch much further than anyone expects. Number 18. Sausage pasta is a weeknight rescue that comes together in the time it takes to boil the kettle and cook the macaroni. Squeeze the meat from one sausage straight into a hot pan, breaking it up with a wooden spoon so it browns in little nuggets, then add a splash of passata or a few squashed tinned tomatoes and a pinch of dried herbs. Stir it through cooked pasta and you have a sauce that tastes like a proper ragu, all from a single sausage with its skin discarded. The meat goes much further loose than it ever would whole, seasoning every forkful. A portion of dried pasta costs a few pence, the tomatoes little more, and the result is a warming bowl of comfort for one. Grate over a little cheese if you have it, and nobody would guess how little it cost to make. Number 17. The sausage pasta bake takes that same idea and dresses it up for the oven. Stir browned sausage meat and tomato sauce through cooked pasta, tip it into a small dish, scatter over whatever cheese you have, even the dry end of a block grated fine, and bake until bubbling and golden on top. Made in a single small dish, it gives you 2 good helpings, one for tonight and one to reheat tomorrow. So a single sausage covers 2 dinners. For anyone living alone, a bake like this is a small luxury. The crisp, cheesy top and soft middle feeling like real cooking with hardly any effort. It uses up odds of pasta, ends of cheese, and the last of a tin of tomatoes, wasting nothing. Few suppers feel as cheering coming out of the oven, the smell filling a quiet kitchen and promising a proper hot meal. Number 16. Sausage and rice is the one-pot wonder that turns a single link into a full, satisfying plate. Brown a sliced sausage, add a handful of rice, an onion, and a stock cube dissolved in twice the rice's volume of water. Then put the lid on. and leave it until the rice is tender and the liquid is drunk up. Everything cooks together in one pan, the sausage perfuming every grain, and a small mug of rice swells to fill a generous bowl. Throw in a handful of frozen peas near the end for color and a little goodness. Rice is among the cheapest things in any cupboard, costing pennies a portion, so this is a dinner that fills you for next to nothing. With only the one pan to wash, it suits a quiet evening down to the ground, comforting, hot, and gentle on both stomach and purse. Number 15. A sausage curry sounds unlikely until you try it, and then it becomes a regular. Brown 2 sliced sausages and soften an onion. Stir in a spoon of curry powder until the kitchen smells wonderful. Then add a tin of chopped tomatoes and a splash of water and let it simmer into a rich, mild sauce. Serve it over rice, and you have a takeaway feeling at a fraction of the price. All from 2 sausages and a few store-cupboard staples. A spoon of mango chutney or a handful of sultanas stirred in gives it a gentle sweetness that suits an older palate well. It makes 2 portions easily, the second tasting even better the next day once the flavors have settled. For anyone who fancies something with a bit more warmth and spice, this proves the humble sausage can travel a very long way indeed. Number 14. The sausage and pepper tray bake is the laziest proper dinner there is, and none the worse for it. Tumble 2 sausages, a sliced onion, a pepper cut into strips, and a few chunks of potato onto a roasting tray. Trickle over a little oil, and roast until everything is soft, sweet, and edged with brown. There is no standing over the hob, no stirring, just one tray to fill and one to wash, which matters a great deal when you are cooking only for yourself. The vegetables soak up the sausage fat as they roast, taking on all that savory richness for nothing. A pepper costs little, potatoes less, and the 2 sausages do all the flavoring. Eaten straight from the tray on a tired evening, with perhaps a slice of bread to mop the juices, it is honest, filling, and about as easy as cooking ever gets. Number 13. Sausage with colcannon marries one good banger to a mound of buttery mash shot through with cabbage, and it is comfort on a plate. Boil a couple of potatoes, mash them with a knob of butter and a splash of milk, then fold through some shredded cabbage or leftover greens softened in the pan. Lay a grilled sausage on top and spoon over any pan juices. The mash and greens do the filling, so a single sausage is plenty, and a few potatoes with the cheap outer leaves of a cabbage cost barely anything at all. It is the kind of dinner that warms you from the inside on a damp evening, soft and homely and easy on the teeth. For anyone who grew up on greens from the garden, it carries a familiar taste of home, made for pennies, and eaten with real contentment. Number 12. Bubble and squeak with a sausage is the meal that lets nothing go to waste. Whatever potato and cabbage are left from a previous dinner get mashed together and fried in a hot pan until the underside forms a dark, crisp crust, then turned and crisped again. Lay a sliced fried sausage on top or stir it through, and yesterday's leftovers become tonight's treat. The name comes from the cheerful hiss and squeak the vegetables make as they hit the pan, a sound that has cheered British kitchens for generations. A single sausage lifts a plate of leftovers into a proper supper, costing almost nothing extra. For one person living alone, this is the quiet art of stretching every scrap, of turning the tail end of one meal into the heart of the next, and finding real satisfaction in wasting not a single penny. Number 11. Sausage and apple is an old country pairing that turns a plain dinner into something a little special. Roast 2 sausages with thick wedges of onion and a cooking apple cut into chunks. and as everything softens, the apple collapses into a sweet, tart sauce that suits the rich meat perfectly. A handful of sage, if you have a pot on the windowsill, makes it taste like autumn itself. There is no need for gravy. The apple does that work, and a single apple costs only pence. Served with a little mash or just a slice of bread, it makes a dinner that feels far grander than its price. For an older cook, it carries the memory of orchards and Sunday kitchens, the smell of apple and sage filling the house. 2 sausages, 1 apple, 1 onion, and a quiet sort of pleasure on the plate. Number 10. The sausage pie is where a pack truly earns its keep, stretching just 2 or 3 links into a dinner that lasts for days. Squeeze the meat from the skins, brown it loose with an onion, stir in a little gravy or a tin of soup to bind it, then top with mashed potato and bake until the peaks turn golden and crisp. Loose sausage meat goes so much further than whole sausages, spreading its flavor right through the dish, so a small handful feeds you several times over. Made in a dish and portioned out, it gives 3 or 4 hearty servings, each costing little more than the potatoes on top. The rest freezes well, ready for a night when you want a hot dinner with no work at all. Comforting, filling, and thrifty to its bones, it is everything a cooking for one supper should be. Number 9. The sausage hot pot borrows the old northern trick of layering and slow cooking to make a little go a long way. Slice potatoes and onions thin, layer them in a dish with 2 sliced sausages tucked between, pour over stock made from a crumbled cube, and bake long and slow until the top potatoes crisp and the bottom turns meltingly soft. The single dish does everything, the sausages flavoring the whole pot as their fat seeps down through the layers. Potatoes and onions are among the cheapest food there is, so 2 sausages turn into a dinner big enough for 2 nights. The browned golden top was always the part worth fighting over, though cooking for one means it is all yours. Few things suit a cold, quiet evening better than a hot pot pulled steaming from the oven, the smell alone enough to lift the spirits. Number 8. A sausage and bean cassoulet is a grand French name for a thrifty British pot, and it tastes every bit as good as it sounds. Brown 2 sliced sausages, add an onion, a tin of chopped tomatoes, and a tin of haricot or butter beans, drained, then let it bubble down until thick and rich. The beans do the filling, and the sausages do the flavoring, turning 2 links into 3 good helpings for the price of a couple of tins. A scatter of breadcrumbs crisped on top. If you fancy, gives it a lovely finish. It keeps for days in the fridge, and only improves as it sits, the flavors deepening overnight. For anyone living alone, a pot like this is a gift. A hearty, warming dinner made once and enjoyed several times, proving that beans and a sausage or 2 can feed you handsomely all week. Number 7. Sausage stew with dumplings is the meal that turns a cold night into something cozy and complete. Brown 2 sausages, and simmer them with onion, carrot, and a little gravy until everything is tender. Then drop spoonfuls of a simple suet dough on top and let them steam under the lid until risen and fluffy. The dumplings, made from cheap flour and suet, do the heavy lifting of filling you, so 2 sausages are plenty for a proper meal. As the lid rattles gently and the kitchen windows fog, there is real comfort in knowing supper is nearly ready. It makes 2 generous bowls, one for tonight and one for tomorrow. For an older cook, the dumplings carry the taste of childhood teas, soft and savory and soaked in gravy. Few dinners feel as warming or as kind to the purse as a stew with proper dumplings. Number 6. Sausage meatballs are a small trick that makes a single link feel like a feast. Squeeze the meat from 2 sausages, roll it into little balls, and brown them all over before simmering them in a tin of tomatoes or in a jug of onion gravy. Rolled small, the meat from 2 sausages becomes a whole plateful of meatballs, far more than 2 links ever look on the plate. Serve them over pasta, rice, or mash, whatever is cheapest in the cupboard, and you have a hearty dinner that stretches the pack a good deal further. They freeze well too, so a batch made on a Sunday becomes several quick suppers through the week. For anyone cooking alone, there is great value in turning 2 sausages into a dish that fills the plate and the freezer alike, all from skins squeezed and meat gently rolled by hand. Number 5. Homemade sausage rolls turn a pack of sausages into snacks and suppers that last for days. Squeeze the meat from 3 or 4 sausages, spread it along a sheet of cheap, ready-rolled pastry, roll it up, slice it into lengths, and bake until puffed and golden. The pastry bulks out the meat so generously that a few sausages make a whole tray of rolls, enough for several light dinners with a bit of salad or beans. Warm from the oven, the smell alone is worth the small effort. They keep for days in a tin and are just as good cold, making them perfect for a lunch or a quick tea when cooking feels like too much. For one person, a batch of sausage rolls is a clever sort of stockpile, the flavor of a whole pack of sausages spread thriftily across a week of easy meals. Number 4. The sausage cottage pie is the great stretcher, taking just a few links and turning them into a proper Sunday-style dinner that feeds you for days. Squeeze out the meat, brown it loose with onion and a grated carrot. Add a tin of tomatoes or a little gravy, then top with mashed potato, and run a fork over it before baking until the ridges turn crisp and brown. The grated carrot and loose meat make the filling stretch wonderfully, so 3 sausages fill a dish that gives 4 good helpings. Each portion costs only pennies once the potatoes and veg are counted in. Made in one dish and divided up, it covers half a week, and the rest freezes for later. For anyone living alone, a cottage pie like this is the very picture of thrift and comfort, a warm, golden-topped dinner that quietly stretches a single pack about as far as it can go. Number 3. Bangers and mash with onion gravy is the dinner that needs no clever stretching to earn its place, only a sausage or 2 and a mound of good mash. Boil and mash a couple of potatoes with butter and milk, grill 2 sausages until burnished, then make a proper onion gravy by softening sliced onions slowly until sweet and brown and stirring in a little stock and gravy granules. Poured over the lot, that gravy makes the whole plate sing. The mash does most of the filling, so 2 sausages are ample and potatoes cost barely anything. It is the meal that says home more than almost any other, the one you can cook half asleep and still get right. For an older person eating alone, there is deep comfort in a plate of bangers and mash, soft, warm, familiar, and made for the price of a cup of coffee out. Number 2. The sausage casserole is the king of the one-pot week, the dinner that single-handedly proves a pack of sausages can feed you for days. Brown 3 or 4 whole sausages, then build a pot around them with onion, carrot, a tin of tomatoes, a tin of beans, and a stock cube, and let it simmer slowly until thick and rich, and the sausages are tender right through. Everything goes in one pot, and the result makes 4 or 5 generous bowls, each one cheaper than the last as the pack stretches across the week. It keeps beautifully in the fridge, deepening in flavor each day, and freezes for the evenings when you cannot face cooking. For anyone on their own, a casserole like this is the very heart of thrifty cooking, made once on a quiet afternoon and enjoyed warm and hearty night after night with hardly any work at all. Number 1, and at the very top, toad in the hole, the dish that turns the fewest sausages into the most dinner of all. The magic is the batter, a simple mix of flour, an egg, and milk poured around the sausages in a hot tin and roasted until it billows up golden and crisp around the edges, while the middle stays soft. Just 2 sausages, set in all that risen batter, make a meal big enough to fill you twice over, the flour and egg doing the work the meat cannot afford to. Served with onion gravy and a few greens, it eats like a feast for the price of pennies. For generations of British families, toad in the hole was how a handful of sausages became Sunday dinner, and for anyone stretching a single pack across a whole week, it remains the cleverest trick of the lot, comforting, golden, and gloriously cheap. There you have it, 25 cheap sausage dinners that turn one humble pack into a full week of proper hot meals. Pick a few, keep your cupboard stocked with the cheap staples that bulk them out, and you need never waste a sausage or a penny again. Tell me in the comments which one you will be trying first.